I hope you like this place. I came to this really intimate and secluded place. It is a butterfly garden, and I really love this place. It's tranquil and serene, and it was just what the doctor ordered. Today, I went to church and I had an incredible time. And on my way home, I decided I cannot believe this weather. I can't believe how beautiful it is, and I'm going to have to take advantage of it. So I came out here to have a talk with you. I'm going to remix a little bit about what the word was today, but it's interesting because prior to service beginning, I was writing these notes about uniqueness and about being different and about not blending in and and how God created us differently and uniquely, and that a lot of times as humans we think that the difference is in what we do, how we dress ourselves and how we change ourselves up, how we're able to use style to invoke uniqueness and to point out how different we are. But at the end of the day, that's not what makes us different. Wearing our hair in a completely different look, doing something racy or edgy, changing the color, getting a funky cut, going for a roller set, shaving it off completely, wearing big bold braids. That's not what makes us different, because 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people can wear the exact same hairstyle. It will all look alike. If we look alike, for example, if we have similar features or whatever, we can kind of look like one another, but that doesn't make us alike. What makes us alike is when we live in the element of conforming to groupthink and group behavior and mimicking and modeling after and copycatting. That's not what makes us different by changing our style. God made us different from the very beginning. He gave us our very own identity. He gave us our own fingerprint, and He knows us for who we are. Oftentimes we get lost in who we are, trying to express ourselves in creative ways. But you want to know what really makes you different? It's your spirit. And the only way to be really different is to allow the Spirit of God to live on the inside of you. And it's interesting how the man of God brought it forth today. He talked about how we like to hang out with Jesus and have mannerisms that say that we belong to Jesus, kind of layers and behaviors, all of the fashion and form that says that we belong. We're a member of this church. We belong to this church. We're associated with these people here, these Christians. We're together. We're down with Jesus. And the thing is, it's not about being with Jesus. It's about allowing Jesus to be on the inside of you, because once He's on the inside of you, He begins to flow on the outside of you. And that's where the difference comes in. That's what makes you peculiar and unique and different. It's your spirit. We as Christians are not here to conform to the way that popular people are, or people are in the environment, or how people we hang out with are, people we admire, how they are. We are here not to conform, but to transform. And it's interesting. I was like, wow, that was really profound. Particularly to me, it really resonated because all week I've been thinking about this profanity thing, and how years ago when I got saved, I said, Lord, I want to be delivered from profanity. My family uses it pretty loosely. We use it joking, and, we have fun with it. So we use it not only, for anger, but just for regular conversation and entertainment, and to be comedic as well. And it's just useless language, And so I asked the Lord to deliver me from it. And, He took it away from me, hands down. But then I began to have trouble in my marriage and issues, and profanity entered into my home, and I began to conform to the profanity. And once again, years later, here I am, find myself thinking the words, thinking if I don't say it, and then say it. But we all know that God measures the heart, and we need to understand that if we've already committed it in our heart, it's a done deal. It's just a matter of time before it manifests, from the fruit of your lips. And then that's when the enemy begins to win. So at any rate, I was just cussing somebody out in my head, using all kinds of things, and just having my satisfaction with that. Like, if you only knew what I was thinking and saying to you, I just slayed you with my mouth, with my mind, without saying a word. But, again, when we have Christ on the inside of us, and remember, we all sin and fall short, but when we have Christ on the inside of us, we'll have conviction around such behaviors like that. We won't make excuses or just accept it and just continue. And then after a while, we'll begin to realize, hey, I'm out of pocket, I'm out of line, and I need to get back in. And so, I kind of got to the point where, it was in my mind, and then it began to bubble off of my lips. And I returned to saying what I needed to say, using the language that is not beneficial to any of us. The language is not beautiful, it's not seasoned, and I began to use curse words again. And so I asked God once again, Lord, take it away from me. He did. This time I say, when the element of profanity enters my home, I go, please don't use that language with me. Don't say that to me, and don't curse. Initially it was like apprehension or an excuse, well, you bring it out of me or whatever. And then after a while, it began to change. I wasn't conforming. I was transforming. Because you know what happened? The person that I have this dialogue with began to do it less. And then do it more reasonably, like not less harsh words. And then think about it. And occasionally it comes out, but he's really like working on not using those words. Okay, great. Because when you're around me, you need to conform to where I'm at in Christ, because Christ is the ruler. Christ is the power. He's all power. And so as Christians, we don't benefit in any kind of way by conforming to the environment, by blending. We've got to allow our difference to make a difference. We've got to allow what's different about us to make a difference in someone else, And so that means not just that profanity thing is just my example of it, but there are other things as well. If there are people in your life that have the power to sway and change how you are as a Christian, then you need to cut them off. You have to stand strong. We are to provoke the world to envy. We are to provoke the world to righteousness, to be right in the way that you carry yourself and behave. And so that's why that message resonated so well for me, because my being different made a difference, and that effectiveness is a treasure, if you ask me. And so the environment is changing. As a Christian, wherever you go, the environment should shift. It should transform. People should see you come in with the light, and they should conform to light. All the dark behavior, the dark mannerisms, the dark attitudes and behaviors needs to get shut down. And it only happens when you stand in your position and remain constant in being a person that does not get down with the profanity, a person that does not get down with drinking and drugging and smoking and cussing and arguing and just being toxic and negative, just being comfortable in your sin. We do fall short. We will make mistakes, and people will love to point that out. They're going to point it out and say, hey, you, Mr. or Miss Christian, you're doing X, Y, and Z. That's okay. You know what's happening in your life. You know that God is working with you individually and very intimately, and that your growth is something that is very personal. And so you can't allow anyone to really make you feel like, you're a loser and you're not doing well because you've messed up, maybe yet again. But at any rate, just try to be constant in your conviction. Whatever you stand for it. Be that, represent that. And eventually you will no longer conform, but you will become a transformer. You will transform your environment, and those who come around you will begin to respect who you are because of whose you are. I'm Sonia Ward from Harmony Success Solutions. It is a beautiful day. I am here at the Butterfly Garden, and I'm going to be taking a walk shortly. Perhaps I'll share some footage with you, but I just wanted to give you that nugget because it was so valuable to me. You are different, and your difference should make a difference. Do not conform. Do not try to blend. Be who you are. Be who you are. Stand your ground. Stick to it. And eventually, they'll get the memo. God bless.